welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam for those of you who are new here, and today I'm going to be unboxing the iPad Magic Keyboard from Apple. So earlier this year I actually picked up the iPad Pro, and I believe this is a 2018 version. I absolutely love the iPad Pro and I feel like it's significantly boosted my productivity. Even though I absolutely love almost everything about the iPad, honestly it's been a game changer for me. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is definitely the keyboard that the iPad comes with, or not comes with, you have to buy it for another absurd amount of money for what it is. The Smart Keyboard from Apple is just really not up to par in my opinion. This just seems like a beginner keyboard. Like when iPads were first created, this seems like something I would pick up with it. Apologies that the camera changed a little bit. I want you guys to be able to see the desk and how everything is set up. But back to the Smart Keyboard before I unbox the iPad Magic Keyboard. Essentially when I'm using it and I'm not on like a traditional desk or flat surface, I never really feel like it's sturdy. I always feel like I have to prop it up somehow. When I go to pick up the iPad itself and I have it in this sort of position where it's just looking like a computer, I don't feel comfortable ever really just picking it up from the keyboard part itself. Obviously I'm being careful now, but if I want to move my iPad to like a different room or something like that, I always feel like I have to go with two hands. So that's the main issue that I have with it. Other than that, it just kind of feels cheap. Like it doesn't feel like a good experience when I'm using it. And again, given the price tag and given Apple's reputation, that's not what I would expect with this type of product. So all that being said, that is the main reason why I was super excited about the Magic Keyboard. Okay, so now onto the unboxing. So first we have this nice slip right here, so it makes it super easy to tear off. Okay, so here is the box itself. I like don't. Okay. All right. I feel like everyone on YouTube made it sound like this was such a heavy product. My first thoughts are that it doesn't really feel too heavy, but we'll see how it feels with the iPad in it. Looks very standard, has the same material as the Smart Keyboard, but it feels a little bit more solid, I guess, or a little bit more dense. And when we open it, wow. Okay, and then I don't believe there's anything else in here aside from a direction guide. It's fine. Okay, here is the Magic Keyboard, guys. So the top position looks like this. It's a little bit less than 90 degrees, and then you can move it back as you wish. I don't know what degrees that is, but it's more obtuse. I want to move it over here so you guys can see it with the white background, but as you can see, you can't move the bottom part also. It's just stuck in the less than 90 degree angle that I mentioned before. It's weird to me that they designed it to not have the bottom part move, because I feel like intuitively that's what I would expect it to do, so that's a little bit odd. But enough about the top part. The keys down here, I'm just gonna try it out. Awesome. Very cool. I don't know why, that's like fun. I'm pretty sure this keyboard is supposed to be the same or very similar to the new MacBook Pro keyboard. I really like these keys a lot. I feel like there's more distance in the keys when you press them, so there's more feedback, I guess, when you're clicking a key. And of course the trackpad, it's not just haptics, it's actually a physical click and a physical movement and push down, I guess, when you do click the trackpad. But I also like to see if you can enable haptics when using the iPad, even though you do get an actual click motion with the trackpad itself. And one last thing before I actually put the iPad on it, there's also an option to charge your iPad through the Magic Keyboard. I know a lot of people were super psyched about this feature, and I think I would be too if I didn't already purchase this little dock to attach to the iPad. I actually purchased this because I didn't like the fact that if you were charging your iPad, you couldn't also plug something into your iPad at the same time. So I bought this, and then the Magic Keyboard came out, so that is a little bit of bad timing, but I'm still going to use that, and I feel like it will be very beneficial, especially with USB drives. I'm also excited to see if I do like it for other reasons aside from the dual plug-in opportunity. So now let's transfer or attach the iPad onto the Magic Keyboard. There we go. So now it is attached. There's a couple of different ways that you can view it. I don't know why anyone would do that. That is an option. That is the furthest back that it goes. The thing that I like most about this is how much more secure it feels when I go to pick it up by the keyboard itself. I no longer feel like the iPad might go flying if I do that. Obviously, if I'm paying a lot of money for it, I like the fact that it feels way more robust. Also, as I mentioned before, it didn't feel very heavy when I first picked it up, but it definitely does feel significantly heavier with the iPad itself and the keyboard. When I feel a product that's a little bit more heavy and feels a little bit more dense, it just feels like higher quality. So I definitely don't mind that very much, and I like the fact that it does feel a little bit more robust, or a lot more robust than the previous Smart Folio. Also, when you go to open it up, it's not just like it's actually quite difficult. Am I okay? What the it feels like harder to open. I don't know, maybe I'm just not doing it right. I thought that it was like magnetic at first, but I think it's just a little bit more of a rigid structure. Definitely not too much of a negative, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, onto the actual keyboard itself. I love the fact that the keys feel like a keyboard. They don't just feel like, I don't even know what this was. I'm pissed. But with the previous keyboard, it's just like the buttons. The keys themselves are super close to the actual keyboard, I guess. So when you're pressing each key, you don't really get too much feedback and there's not a ton of depth. I feel like there'd be a lot of typos when I type, or just I'd have to go back and correct myself a bunch whenever I'm writing an email quickly or something like that. Whereas with the keyboard like this, because it is a little bit more legit, like when I'm pressing it, there's more depth to each key. I feel like it will definitely make things a little bit more fluid when I am typing, and I feel like I'll just have less typos overall. Ooh, okay, I'm interested to see what will happen when I turn it on. Ooh, okay, very interesting. It's not just a typical mouse, there's just a little circle. The finger movements on the trackpad are super similar, if not the same, as those that you'd use on the Mac. So when I'm trying to switch between windows or switch between screens here, I'm just gonna use a 2-finger swipe left and right to move it as needed. When I wanna go to Chrome and I just wanna go back to the screen, I can just do a quick 3-finger swipe up, but if I'm on Chrome and I wanna see all my windows, I have to do like a 3-finger drag, I guess. Also, if you're trying to move between apps, you can use 3 fingers and swipe left or right to go in between apps. Also, something I forgot that was going to happen was the backlit keys. That's great if you're working and it's more of like a dark lit room, or you're just working at night. That obviously wasn't a feature in the Smart Keyboard, so this is really nice to have. It feels like it's supposed to be paired with the iPad Pro, given how advanced and how phenomenally the iPad Pro works, in my opinion. The keyboard should definitely be of similar standards. Also, one thing that I did learn about that I'm not very happy with, and I had already bought this by that time that I had read about it, it doesn't fold backwards, which makes it super annoying if you want to use it just for the purpose of drawing or writing. So at the moment, what people were trying to do is see if they could, I was looking this up before, they'd flip it around so they'd have the keyboard standing up and they'd have the iPad just tilting up a little bit to write with, which I actually, now that here, I'm a lefty, so I gotta transfer it this way. Here, let's see, I'm using GoodNotes right now. I actually do feel like it's a very comfortable way of writing, and I can see myself using it, but it does kind of look ridiculous if you're using it. I just like wrote random things, but it looks a little bit ridiculous if you're sitting like this in school or like class or whatever, and even just like in any public space. Given the price tag of the Magic Keyboard, you'd think that Apple would design it so that way people who utilize the writing feature a little bit more would really want to get the Magic Keyboard. But if I was only using the iPad to write, I would honestly just opt for either the Smart Folio or the Smart Keyboard, because you could still get like a keyboard aspect. Whereas the Magic Keyboard, you have to do this weird makeshift position in order to actually leverage one of the coolest features on the iPad Pro. It just seems like it was something that wasn't thought of when creating the Magic Keyboard. So I don't know what they were doing there. I might have had second thoughts when purchasing the Magic Keyboard if I had known that you couldn't just like fold it backwards. So I don't understand how they didn't think about that, or I don't understand the disregard of that whole side of the iPad Pro when creating the Magic Keyboard. But that being said, this might not actually be that bad. I'm gonna try it out for a couple weeks and see how I like it. But aside from that, first impressions overall, it's definitely a little bit heavier, but it just feels more solid and more robust. I love the fact that I can actually pick it up now without feeling like my iPad's gonna go flying. That's huge. I love the fact that it is actually a legitimate keyboard and a legitimate trackpad. Off the bat, I love how compatible the Magic Keyboard and the iPad Pro are. Each individual app icon hovers. I think it's super cool how they didn't go with just a regular mouse icon. They went with a little bit of a circle. I also love the fact that the actual touch motions of the trackpad are pretty similar to the MacBook Pro. Again, I'm really disappointed about the limited or just like total disregard of positioning for the Magic Keyboard with regards to drawing or writing. I'm interested to see if like this is as awkward as I think it will be, or if right now I'm just being dramatic. And I'm also interested to see if turning it around into this position actually feels like the Magic Keyboard is intentionally designed to do that, or if Apple just totally disregarded the design requirements for drawing and for writing when creating the Magic Keyboard. Aside from that, that's really the only major negative. I haven't seen anything else off the bat that I'm like, what? But yeah, so those are my first impressions. I'm very much happy with this right now. If you guys have any questions or are curious about anything in specific with the Magic Keyboard, definitely let me know because I'm more than happy to cover that honestly and in depth in my next review. I'm also very interested in seeing how it affects my workflow, how it impacts my workflow, and if it makes me use the iPad in any additional way that I wouldn't normally use it before. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because that really helps my channel to grow. If you guys want to see more content or just want to support my channel overall, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and a notification bell. And again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, etc., please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.